There are only two worldviews that exist, only two.
Ah yes, the two worldviews. Those who believe pineapple belongs on pizza, and those evolved enough to see said abomination for what it is. I am jesting, of course, and the presenter for QuickBibleFacts does go on to specify that he's talking in relation to universal origins. But honestly, when someone opens with a dichotomy like that, I just can't help myself. I'm so used to the false dichotomies that I enjoy any opportunity to jab at them. So today's video is a response to the video titled The Two Worldviews, Atheism and Creationism by QuickBibleFacts, which already tells me that in all likelihood, this is going to be a painful one.
In terms of how did this world actually get here? That's called your worldview.
No, that's actually really wrong. A worldview is not simply how one believes they came to be. That is most certainly a form of worldview, but it's not the only worldview. A worldview can seek to explain many subjects aside from cosmological origin. A worldview could explain the functioning, not the origins, of the universe. It could focus on the social dynamics in place, created by us, human beings. Or it could answer other important philosophical questions such as those pertaining to meaning or ethics. None of these are inherently linked to one's perspective on how the universe came to be. So, to describe said perspective on that singular topic as, quote, that's called your worldview, end quote, note singular and without a disclaimer of this being in just relation to that one topic, is flat out wrong.
Okay, so we are here, right? How did everything get designed and organized exactly?
Well, before you ask that, you must first explain how you reached the conclusion that everything was designed and organized. Because as far as science and philosophy are concerned, there's no evidence to substantiate said claim. It's merely an assertion, one in need of evidence to support it, and thus cannot act as evidence in support of whatever argument you're about to make, which in all likelihood will follow the circular pattern of we know the universe is designed because we know the universe was designed. You're starting by presupposing the answer you want. I didn't talk about universal origin as the naturalistic events that set us on our current course, since I don't wish to partake in such a poorly thought out reasoning. It's just a shame that most Christians I come across in my line of work don't share that value. If they did, we'd have less Christians, that's for sure. Now the question on my mind is, can you let me watch 5 seconds without stating something so wrong in passing that it forces me to stop and call it out? You see, normally I wait for the whole point to be made and respond to that as such. But you're trying to slip so much dishonesty past the viewer in such a short period of time that I have to do this in bite-sized pieces, just to stop myself losing track of everything you say.
So worldview number 1. Nobody made the world just made itself. This is called the humanist worldview.
No, just play the clip, I'll respond in a second, else we're going to be here all day.
All the billions of gallons of water, massive planets, plants, trees, and finally life were created by nothing. No designer, no God, but nothing.
That's just not true, at least not inherently. Humanism does have some basic principles. The 3 main ones I know of are 1. All human life has inherent value. 2. Evidence-based reasoning is the best method for exploring our universe. And lastly 3. Education will be the emancipator for all humankind. Nowhere is the origins of the universe even discussed. That is outside of the application of 2. Evidence-based reasoning is the best method for exploring our universe. By this I mean to highlight the simple facts that with all currently available evidence and sound philosophical methodology, there is no justification to assert that anything besides naturalistic processes were involved with the formation of the universe. Put rather simply, all we have observed thus far is natural. Therefore, to conclude from the existence of said natural events that the supernatural must also exist is a non sequitur. It does not follow. Moving on to the rest of what you just stated, we do not believe that the planets, water and life all came from just nothing. Rather the opposite. We hold to the observed facts that celestial bodies form as a result of gravity. Water is the bonded compound of hydrogen with oxygen, oxygen having been formed itself through the nuclear fusion which took place at the centre of stars like our Sun. And as for life, well, we don't have all the answers on life. We can currently produce protocells which show the behaviours typically associated with life, formed out of basic organic materials seen in nature. In all likelihood, life as we know it formed via a process of abiogenesis. But this is a hypothesis still being tested, and with each year, scientists seem to be getting closer to the answer. So, no, we don't believe, quote, nothing created everything, end quote. We, humanists, believe in what science can currently tell us. But there's another trick at play here, and that's the way you are presenting atheist as being synonymous with humanist. That's just not true on such a fundamental level that it reveals you to either be so willfully ignorant of the subject that the facts that you don't tackle said ignorance by doing the most basic fact-checking is frankly painful, or it reveals you to be so dishonest, to have such a low regard for the truth that talking to you is really pointless. But thankfully, public responses are less about me and you, and more about the people watching us make our cases. Not all atheists are humanist, and there are humanists who are religious, including Christian. Though, when I ask them for the scientifically reasoned justification for the existence of God they apparently have, I never get anything nearing a genuine response. So I could in theory exclude them on that basis, but I don't. Why? Well, because it could always change. If there was evidence for God, humanism would become theistic. And if that God was a creator, it would become creationist. But so far, that's never happened because thus far, there is no evidence for God, period.
The second worldview is a creationist worldview that the world had a designer. God made the world and all that is within the world. He organized and designed everything for a particular purpose.
And here's where the false dichotomy comes out to play. Yes, you can divide many things into a binary. That's not only possible, but relatively easy. To theism, there is also atheism. You either believe in God or you do not. But that's not the two, quote, worldviews you've taken on. Instead, you've propped up atheism/humanism against creationism. Fun fact, not all theists hold to creator gods. Many religions, such as the Norse pantheon, hold to gods coming into existence after the universe already existed. Now, they're most certainly not atheist, but they're not creationist either. They're non-creationist theist, a third option to the two worldviews you're trying to lecture others on.
So if you believe in the first worldview, the humanist worldview, how the world made itself out of nothing, you would need to ask some critical questions.
Sure, that's what the science is currently doing. It's trying to figure out the specifics to the origins of the universe. But I must note, failing to answer said question is not justification to then come along and assert whichever paranormal claim you so desire. We may never fully understand our origin, yet that would not then justify the belief in God. The only thing that can justify a belief in God is direct evidence of their existence. So why you're bringing this up, I just don't know.
How do we have all this intelligence and information in the world? What caused this nothingness to make everything? However, if you believe in the creationist worldview, then a designer or God that made the world, then intelligence, information, and the structure of the world can be explained and, quite frankly, is actually expected. But just by believing in the creationist worldview won't get you to the God of the Bible. But I can certainly tell you this, you are traveling in the intelligent direction.
Well, first of all, you need to demonstrate said intelligence as well as information once you have operationalized said terms in a manner useful to science and philosophy. Because currently, none of what you just stated is actually something that exists. We don't see intelligence in the universe. We only see patterns which are the result of chaos on repeat. But those systems are highly volatile, at risk of falling out of equilibrium at any moment. Take cell replication for example. Healthy cell replication replaces dead or dying cells as the body continues to age, but said process is riddled with issues. A major one is copying errors. Now, sometimes these errors can be benign, having no impact at all on the individual, but in other instances, said process results in uncontrolled cellular growth. Cancer. The process we rely on to survive is a process which can kill us. That's not intelligence. If I had a watch which all of a sudden started producing extra cogs and springs and stopped working, I wouldn't refer to that as competently made, rather the opposite. Then there's the fact that the organs used for reproduction are adjacent to those used for waste management. As many others have stated, this is akin to building a hospital or a water park directly in the vicinity of an open sewage treatment plant. It's ludicrous. Then we have what is known as the recurrent laryngeal nerve, a nerve which has its start and end point within centimeters of each other. And yet, due to our evolutionary history, coming from vertebrates such as fish which lacked a neck, that nerve comes all the way down from the brain, down to the aortic arch and back up into the brain. In giraffe, this nerve is 15 feet long, even though its origin and destination are centimeters apart, and it does not help the giraffe in any way. Now, why does it do this? Well, because evolution as a natural process can only make do with what it has. It can't wipe the slate clean and start again, as an intelligent designer could. So, after early vertebrates such as fish evolved said nerve around the aortic arch, remember, they had no neck at the time and thus it wasn't a hindrance for them. We are still stuck with that several 100 million years down the line. Then there's also the very simple facts that we not only breathe, but eat and drink through the same hole, something which causes countless people to choke to death annually as a result. But on the universe as a whole, so far known life exists on a single planet, 1 out of 8 in our solar system, which is a single star out of the 200 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way, which is 1 out of at least 100 billion galaxies in the currently observed universe. The hallmark of intelligence is simplicity and efficiency. Our universe is not efficient for the purpose of harboring life. There is no evidence of intelligence to the universe, nor is there any information outside of that we, human beings, have transcribed. We turn physical entities into information. They do not exist as information in of themselves. So with that assertion out of the way, what are you left with? Your ignorant assertion that creationism explains what we do not observe? Fact. Even if we witnessed intelligence or information, that still wouldn't prove the existence of God. Certainly not a creator God. All it would mean is that there was a source for those things, a source which can be an infinite number of things besides God. Aliens, interdimensional beings, fairies, you name it. They're still far more probable as an answer than some magical sky wizard who dictates everything. Note, I'm talking relative likelihood. I'm not saying that these things are likely, nor am I saying that they currently have any basis, because they don't. So, I'd like to end on this. For someone who keeps talking about intelligence, maybe, just maybe, you should spend more time trying to identify your massive and seemingly willful ignorance. The mistakes you've made in these videos have been so elemental that the facts that you believe yourself to have any capability to lecture others on the subject is honestly shocking. You seriously need to do some heavy reviewing. Hi there, I'd just like to say a few things here at the end of the video before you go. First, I'd like to thank everyone who's ever donated to the channel via Patreon, giving a special thanks to the following people: Hannah Banghart, Matthew Kovac, Brad R, John Schoenrock, Alexander Williams, Ernst Puna, and Daniel Martinez. Your support has ensured this channel its ability to grow over the years, and really is the only thing that manages to keep the channel afloat. I'd also like to ask that you comment down below and like this video, as well as subscribe and follow Essence of Thought on Facebook and Twitter. Please also consider following Atheist Alliance International on Facebook, an organisation dedicated to helping atheists around the globe. Any comments utilising language which insults others on the basis of perceived gender, sexuality, ethnicity or ability both mental and physical will be removed immediately, and the commenter may be blocked on the moderator's discretion. Let's keep this space one which upholds the humanist values. Thank you.